There's a question that's been floating around, which is, will the EIDL loan be forgiven in the future? So I'm going to give my thoughts on this whole process and what I think is potentially going to happen moving forward. Let's jump into it. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Jonathan Moore. I'm a photographer, filmmaker, and a creative entrepreneur, and I like to make videos like these for other creative entrepreneurs out there who are trying to build a life on their terms and get it how they live. So if that sounds like something that you're into, feel free to check out some of the other videos on my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be addressing the question that I've been seeing floating around. I've been seeing a couple of videos being made about it, and that question is, will the EIDL loan be forgiven in the future? And this is what a lot of people are asking. So around this topic right now, there's a lot of speculation about, will the loan be forgiven? And that could be because there's been a lot of fraud that's been going on with this loan. There's been a lot of wrongdoing, not only by people applying for the loan, but by the SBA as well, of not giving the appropriate grant amounts. A lot of people were supposed to get the 10K, but they never got the 10K. And this loan became popular during this whole pandemic, especially because initially it was advertised as free money, depending on the platform you learned about this whole loan on. So the question I've been seeing a lot is the EIDL loan going to be forgiven in the future? And I'm going to tell you what I think is going to happen. So keep in mind that there's two parts of this program. There's the EIDG, which is the grant portion of the program, and there's the EIDL, which is the loan portion of the program. Now, you can get the grant and not get the loan or not be approved for the loan, or you can get the grant and also you can turn down the loan. The grant portion does not have to be paid back. Now, that's where a lot of the trouble really started with this whole thing, because the SBA cheated a lot of people out of what they were supposed to get, which was initially $10,000, depending on, regardless of the size of your company, as the CARES Act had initially stated. But as of right now, the loan program is still going. It's opened up until the end of December. So if you're still thinking about it and you haven't done it, you can still do that. The way it stands right now, I'm recording this in September, the grant portion is completely out of money. They ran out of money a couple of weeks ago. So if you do apply for the loan, you might get approved for the loan, but you probably will not receive any type of the grant. There are petitions going around right now that, people are going to, should get their whole $10,000 grant. There are a couple of proposals in Congress right now that make sure that people do get the whole $10,000 grant. So I'll leave some links for that in the description below if you want to sign those petitions or check out more about the whole subject of getting the full $10,000 grant. Okay, so up until this point, the SBA has issued about 3.3 million of these EIDL loans during the whole pandemic. Okay, and with that 3.3 million, they've also issued about $178 billion worth of funds. And like I have mentioned previously, the program is still open until December. So they are projecting that they're going to be issuing well over 5 million loans. So now that they're going to have all these loans, the question comes into, how are they going to enforce people paying them back, people defaulting on them? Do they have the manpower? Do they not have the manpower? There's fraud going on. There's people who should have got it but never got it. There's a whole lot of just chaos surrounding this program. And with all this chaos, there's a lot of people speculating that this loan will possibly be forgiven in the future. And some of the reasons that they are saying that is because of the loan default rate, which is basically the rate that they expect people to go bad on these loans to not be paid back. So in normal economic conditions, so when it comes to small business, 20% of businesses go out of business in the first year. Okay, 50% of businesses go out of business within 5 years. 70% of businesses go out of business within 10 years, and 84% of businesses go out of business within 84 years. And this is during normal economic conditions. So right now we're in a bit of an unprecedented time with the whole lockdowns and everything else that's going on, and it's making it very hard to return back to some type of normal and conduct business how you were conducting business before all of these lockdowns came into place. So in normal economic times, if you have that many people who are going to be, defaulting on a loan when times are good, right? They're saying 84% of businesses go out of business within 20 years. And most of these, not most of them, all of these loans are at 30-year terms. So if you're planning on using all 30 years to pay it back, chances are that even during good times, you're more than likely going to go out of business, which means a lot of these loans are going to go bad. So with businesses having a probability of a high close rate during normal times, a lot of people are thinking that somehow, some way, Congress is going to get pressure, whether it be by the business community or different groups, to possibly have this loan forgiven in the future, because there's going to be so many defaults, and it's going to be hard for the SBA to have the manpower to go ahead and, look into all these loans, audit all of these loans, enforce all the rules on these loans, find the fraud that was going on. And even with the, without fraud, it's just going to be hard to determine, what's going on with what loan. All these loans being issued, they just don't have the manpower. So they believe that, people are going to, pressure the Congress, whether it be business groups or whatever the case is, to have the loan forgiven automatically. Now, there might be some rules around this. Some people are speculating that maybe you have to pay back a certain percentage of the loan, or maybe you have to really prove that you had some type of economic hardship, so there's just not more fraud going on to get the loan forgiven. But as of right now, a lot of this is speculation. So with all these stats being given, it does seem like there is a high probability that the loan could be forgiven. But my personal take is I think that the loan will not be forgiven. And the reason why is because the EIDL loan has been around way before the pandemic hit. Okay, the EIDL loan program has been in existence for a very, very long time. So there's a lot of businesses that already have EIDL loans due to natural disasters, whether it's hurricanes or tornadoes or flooding or whatever the case may be. Now, being that the loan program has been around for so long, it'll make it very problematic to just forgive all of these loans, right? Because the loan program wasn't designed for this specific moment in time. It wasn't designed or it didn't come out of the whole pandemic, right? It's been around before the pandemic. It just so happens that, the whole U.S. was a, national disaster area. So all of these people were now able, or all these businesses were now able to apply to this loan program. And with the addition of the CARES Act, a lot of different types of businesses that normally wouldn't be eligible to apply for this program were eligible to apply. But my opinion is, I wouldn't bet on the loan program being forgiven. Now, the forgivable loan program was the PPP that did run out on August 8th. As of right now, Congress is still negotiating on the next stimulus package. So there may be a second round of PPP. They may come up with some different rules on how to get more of that loan forgiven. Maybe you can use it more on different expenses and just not payroll. But as of yet, that is to be determined. So I hate to be, a negative Nancy. I don't want to seem like, a pessimistic guy, but I just believe that because of the loan program, because of the history of the program, and because of how many other businesses already have this loan before all of this even hit, I just don't see them forgiving the loan. Now, if a lot of people default on these loans and these loans go bad and it turns out to be really bad for the economy, I don't know what's going to happen, and I guess they'll cross that bridge when they get there. So is there a possibility? I would say it's very, very, very slim. And if you do have this loan, I would expect to just pay it back. If it's just a great opportunity right now, though, because it is premium financing at a time like now where credit is going to get tight and it's going to be hard to get more capital. But I would expect to have to pay it back and have a plan on how you use this money or how you plan to implement this money into your business, because chances are you're going to have to pay it back. And if you're a sole proprietor, then you know that you are personally liable for this loan. So that's it for me today, guys. Hopefully you found this video useful and helpful. Not trying to be too negative, but that's just my take on what I think is going to happen with the loan. Like I said earlier in the video, I have some links in the description where you can check out some of these petitions that are going on to make sure people get the full $10,000 grant that they were supposed to. I don't know if that's going to happen. Hopefully in the next round of stimulus, they have some money allocated to the grant program, and we should all get the money that we rightfully deserve as it was written in the CARES Act. So that's it for all my people out there who are trying to build a life on their terms and get it how they live. This is your man, Jonathan Moore, and I'm signing out. Peace.